You are now listening to the Highly Evolved Podcast with your host, Safan. Transmission will commence momentarily.
How you guys doing? This is the Highly Evolved Podcast. I'm your host, Safan, and let's start the show. Okay, something just came up about Joe Biden again, all right? This time, a third woman came out against Joe Biden, all right? Not only that, Joe Biden made a video about, saying he's sorry, but not actually sorry. He tried to defend himself by saying, this is who he is. This is who I am. He likes to touch people. That's the way of showing affection, that he cared for people, right? But he said he also understands that the dynamic have changes, and he'll try to learn how to understand it more. Well, apparently this video is not very it's not good enough for the woman who's been harassed by Joe Biden, right? So even though he made this video of grandeur of apology, which some people view it as not an apology, of not accepting wrongdoing, it's still not good enough for him. So it backfired on him big time. So this is what the left are known for: eating themselves alive. All right, the left are eating themselves alive because Joe Biden just screwed himself over, right? By not just, I don't know. I'm not saying that I know what's the right answer, what's not the right answer, because there's a lot of gray area. Like, how can anybody get themselves out of this predicament after all that Joe Biden have a lot of images that he's been doing inappropriate acts? It's very subjective, whether it's to you or somebody else. Who knows? Maybe just a cuddling is inappropriate, or maybe just something else is inappropriate. But it's very subjective to the person. But I, for one hand, I don't know. I don't want to say anything. It's kind of sketchy that he's feely, touchy with, especially to young girls or female, especially young female. All right. But yeah, that's been in the news that another two women, not only two women, but third woman came out and said that Joe Biden they're not willing to take his apology, or somewhat apology, right? But yeah, this shows you that the Democratic Party are not rolling with white men no more, right? It's even established white men like Joe Biden, right, who's been with the party for all his life. If you guys don't know, Joe Biden is a career politician. He was a congressman, or whatever the heck his position was back then, at a young age. He was one of the youngest who had this position this whole time. He's been in politician his whole time. All right? That's the thing with Joe Biden. That's what people need to know about Joe Biden. So he's a career politician, right? And now they're eating themselves alive. You know, now it shows you, back to what I was saying, that it shows you that the Democrat, they're not taking old men, especially old white men. Because if you've been following the news, if you've been following the news, right? If you've been following the news, Democrat been attacking white men. Not only Democrat, liberals. Liberals been attacking white men, right? Not just men, but white men. But you know how my feeling are when you attack white men, right? It's me, regardless of white or not, they're men, right? When you attack men, you attack all men, regardless of race. When you attack white men, you attack men in period. Whether you're black, white, yellow, green, whatever the heck you are, right? That's what it is. So I don't believe that you should attack all men at all, because just because one bad apple did this thing, it's totally isolated from everyone else, right? That's like we could go into the gun policy, but that's another topic I could talk about. But as I was saying, that the Democrat Party has been in the news that they've been attacking men. Not only Democrat, but Liberal Party. They've been attacking men all this time. And we already see how it's going to play it out. We already see what direction they're going to take. They're not going to nominate. I think, in my perspective, I might be wrong, right? In my perspective, they're not going to nominate a white man, all right? Whether you're Beto O'Rourke, some other goofball out there, Joe Biden, whatever, right? They're not going to nominate white men. You already see the direction, their trajectory. The trajectory is either you got to be a minority, you got to be a fringe minority, right? And you got to be a woman or a transsexual or whatever. But you cannot be a man of anything, right? They're pushing this agenda. Excuse me, right? They're pushing this agenda that it's time for a woman. No, it's not time for a woman. There's no set date that it's time for a woman to be president, right? It's time for a woman when it's the people vote on it. Not the country is not. The country didn't even vote for Hillary Clinton, right? So it's not time, all right? So they want to push this narrative of a woman presidency, right? They want to push this narrative, even though all the women candidate they're presenting are awful women. They're awful candidates. Not just a woman. There's nothing got to do with this. Women doesn't have, well, to us regular people, women do not have to do with this. It's their candidate. They got awful candidates, right? None of these candidates that they're offering are a viable solution to solve any problems, all right? It's nothing got to do with women, all right? Even though their narrative is, it's time for a woman president, regardless of policy, regardless of bad policy or not, it's time for a woman president. They don't look at policy, right? They look at aesthetics, right? Oh, it's time for a woman. What's her policy? No, it's time for a woman. Okay, it's a woman. Yeah, she's a woman, but what's her policy? Is it a good policy or bad policy? I don't want anybody in charge with bad policy, all right? Regardless of sex, all right? See, that's the thing with Clinton. She got awful policy, all right, that people doesn't resonate with. Her policy stinks. That's why she lost. All right, and don't give me all these. She won the popular vote. Democrat like to use that logic. Oh, she won the popular vote. Popular vote, yeah, she won the popular vote. But how many of these popular vote are legitimately allowed to vote? All right, she won the popular vote. Okay, how many of these popular vote are officially allowed to vote in this country? All right, you could say she could win the popular vote, but popular vote is so vague. Popular vote could mean that you're from Canada, you're from Europe, and people like Hillary. That's a popular too. But they're not allowed to vote in America, all right? Popular vote. And some of these votes, it's highly questionable, right? Whether these votes are legitimate. Look at the last election, right? The last primary. Even President Trump came out and say that these votes that suddenly, these places, the Senate congressional seats that's very competitive, they were so close, right? And all of them won Democrats. And he said that's highly suspicious, right? Very suspicious, right? For all we know, the Democrat rigged the election in the last primary. All right? They rigged it. I'm saying this. They rigged it. All right? Look at Orange County, a highly Republican area. Everyone there is a Republican. How did it flip to a Democrat? You ever wonder that? You ever figure that, right? I think Gavin Newsom got something to do with it or something. I don't know, but crazy, right? A highly Republican area like Orange County, South Costa Mesa, Fullerton. Not only the conservative, they're religious too. It's one of the most religious area in California. It's Orange County. And how did it flip to Democrat? It's highly questionable, right? And Donald Trump mentioned this. Right, and I'm thinking that he's gonna investigate this. It all gonna shows up. It's all gonna shows up of collusion or within the Democrat Party. And we'll talk about the Russian collusion later, but they're stupid. These Democrats are eating each other alive. They're not satisfied with Joe Biden. Joe Biden, at this moment, I told Joe Biden, don't even try to run, man. See, when I talked about this earlier. Like, if he's planning to run, he's going to come out and try to apologize. And what did he do? He came out and tried to apologize, right? That's a sign that he wanted to run as president. He's not obligated to make those video at all. But the reason why he made it, because he's planning to run for presidency. That's why he made it. If he doesn't plan to run for presidency, he just could lay on the beach somewhere and retire. But he's not. He's planning to run for president. So in order for him to run for president, he had to apologize by making this retarded video. And that's insulting to the mentally deranged or mentally ill. But Joe Biden, and he's old, man. He's geriatric like Joe Biden. But let me know what you think. Is Joe Biden guilty or not guilty? Let me know. Leave your comment below. And as always, like, share, subscribe. I'm not monetized, right? What you can do to support me is subscribe, or follow me on this media, right? I'm getting no money from this, and I'm content with it. But that's how you support me. On that note, guys, let me know what you think. Leave your comment below. And thank you for listening to the Highly Evolved Podcast. And peace out and have a good day.